a.m. We're doing what 99 other counties are doing right now, the same thing. So welcome to our canvas. First on the agenda is, of course, our conflict of interest. As the Surrey County Board of Elections, we have a duty to avoid conflicts or appearances of conflicts of interest. Does any board member have any known conflict of interest or any appearance of a conflict with respect to any matters coming before our board today? If so, please identify the conflict or appearance of conflict and refrain from any participation in that particular matter. Thank you. We have before us minutes of yesterday evening's March 14th supplemental absent meeting for perusal and for approval or modification.
And look closely, there might be, this was like this last night, so hopefully they're sort of accurate.
The numbers look correct.
The numbers I tried to double check, but they're a little more brief than they usually are.
We had all night to do it.
No, I should have done better, shouldn't I?
Mr. Chairman, unless anybody on this distinguished board has any questions, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the minutes of our meeting from March 14th as they read.
Got a question.
I'm sorry.
Nope.
I'll second and then have a question.
We have a motion to approve the minutes of March 14th, and we have a second. Is there any discussion? Yes, sir.
When it said that had manual edit for 4 provisional ballots, Michelle, and the board unanimously voted to approve the 3 ballots, should the other one be mentioned too, or is that?
The other one was a party dispute. So it's reflected in the number of the provisional stats. When you get down to the provisional part of the meeting, that explains, it's in the number of not
I figured it's something I wasn't understanding. That's, thank you.
And the 3 were partial. Right?
No, the 3 were full.
They were full.
They were full. They were just at the wrong precinct.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's one we went to watch.
Mhm. And the edit, which is because they were put into the DS 200.
Question.
Thank you, Drew.
Thank you.
Any further discussion on the motion on the floor? If not, we will take a vote for approval of the minutes. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved, unanimous. I will go in 2 different directions with the signatures. Very nice. Your direction. All the minutes are being spread the 2 different directions. I'll open the public forum portion of today's meeting. If there is anyone present or online that wishes to speak to the Board of Elections on any matters pertaining to the Board of Elections, please be welcome to do so. Is there anyone? No one online. If not, I will close the public forum portion of our meeting. We can now move to the canvass, March 5th, 2024, primary election.
Minutes. Oh, thank you. That's okay. The first part of Canvas is for information for the board These are the same report, but you will see the times on the report on the front page. For instance, the first one is going to be 5:57 PM last night. And the flag is marking Dobson Combined Precinct. You'll see the vote totals there. And then the next report was done at 6:22 PM to reflect the manual edits, and you'll see the difference in the totals there. And this is the final one that was printed today after the manual edit, the Dobson early voting. So this is the final, and you'll see the time and date today up here at 10:16.
That one contains the back out of the challenge hearing earlier today.
This one does, yes.
Great.
And so
This is the final.
that's the final. I'll let the board take a look, and of course, it's by precinct and includes toward the back, the early voting sites, absentee by mail, provisional, all be. Feel free to take your time and look at those.
We don't sign on these.
Huh?
We don't sign on these.
Yeah, if you want to maybe start with Barbara and come back this way with signatures, that'll be fine.
Where do you need the signature?
Last page.
Last page. Time there with that batch.
Do we need to sign where you've got the little places marked?
Oh, no, just the back page. That was just so you could see the difference in the Dobson combined precinct last night.
City. 27.
Should be a deduction of 4 votes.
Last page.
Yes, sir. Anywhere there, Barbara will be fine.
Final.
Yes, sir. Did you start signing this one?
No, I had signed it, yeah, except for what's coming back to the last page.
Thank you. Right, and next, is the report of absentee voters. And this shows for some confidential information with their application number. It has the meeting date, they were approved or disapproved, their return status, and it also marks here that driver's license was okayed or whatever. Spoiled, if it was spoiled, if there's no return date, those are part of the ones that are still outstanding. And then the flag here, it is double-sided. So on the back, I just marked the flag showing MacArthur because of what we just did. So it is in conflict. That is what that stands for. So you're welcome to look at that again, sign at the bottom of the back page.
Just to recap.
It's just a recap, and that's every absentee voter. Of course, it's just absentee by mail now.
Question I have, Michelle. Our vote totals for the canvass here today would be final. My question is, with the two challenge hearings earlier that potentially could appeal
Mm-hmm.
the rulings of sustaining both challenges, could that come back in weeks or months and make any difference or changes with their ballots that are held in reserve on any ruling that a superior court, because that would be, it'd have to go to superior court.
Right, right. Upon the determination of the Superior Court, yes, but that would be if it was appealed and if they did overturn.
I don't know why that just popped up anyway. This is final, but could there be an exception?
And just for clarification too, with the one today that we did have to do the manual edit on, that person's voter history reflecting their ballot was cast in this election will no longer be part of their voter history. Because that ballot was pulled, it will not be part of their voter history due to the sustaining of the challenge. here.
That's interesting enough.
So
That's good
it's as if they never voted.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, that's separate from any investigation.
Right,
That's just,
Right. That makes
based on-
sense,
uh-huh.
I
yeah.
think.
Based on our decision.
Now, the others
Right.
last night, the board determined whether the provisional would count or not. That's a whole different, their voter history is going to stay the same, but yeah.
Okay.
There are, you see comments with some, no comments for others. It is accepted. The absentee ballot was complete in full. The board approved it. There are no comments. If there's comments, there was contact with the voter. We had to reissue a ballot, or the reason for the spoil, reason for the not accept. That's the only ones that have
You
comments
signed the back.
on that.
and
one.
Do we send the back of these?
Back, the bottom.
The very back, bottom back page.
The very last, just one time?
Yes, sir.
No, my hand.
Maybe did it not, blocks, just by precinct and by contest. Okay, that's the only one that. Yeah, I think we're supposed to have three. So that'll be the final. And I'll do that at the end, Sydney, so you got time. Didn't do too bad. See how you put it, you tucked it back in. Almost gone.
Try to get away from it.
Thank you. Next, we will do. This is the poll book of absentee voters. This is 3 copies. We'll need each one of them signed. And the total, you all remember, we had 200 before last night. And the total you'll see on the back page does say grand total of 220. So that should balance out there. And the chairman and the secretary should be first and second. So clerk, if you could start on that third line. Again, there are 3 copies.
Is that provisional?
No, sir, that's absentee.
Just by name?
That's the poll book. I'm not absentee by now. Before absentee poll book was much longer because one stop was in it, but now early voting. It's no longer absentee. Maybe Bill signed the top and then Drew the right under you. Yeah, I'll be a thank you.
You,
All right, and the next is the absentee abstract. It's just the breakdown of votes to be placed on the abstract that were taken straight from the tapes, the results tapes, that the board had already signed off on. And the last page, has a place for signatures, board chair, top, secretary.
Same.
Yep, and it's in triplicates again, 3 times. Late.
While you're chairman.
Wrong.
Yeah,
You should have known. Yeah, isn't that better?
you can take his rule book from him. He's done got it wrote down.
Got the old and the new.
Mhm.
I bet he stayed up late doing it.
It's more than one night. He's been working on it since election day.
Chairman.
That's where an tablet, iPad comes in handy instead of a laptop.
You step in, you step in. Better be getting yours on the iPad.
Sense to find it. Let's write it.
You'll
Sit
have
down.
to share. You'll have to share his.
God bless you.
No, means you.
See, I
No
don't
pain.
know.
You are so right.
iPad. But of course, if I get- take out a Best book.
One and all. After I start signing me,
Is your
I
ruling-
couldn't, yeah, I just couldn't.
Yes, you need to. Your
Children,
children, and no, it's your mother.
not just my brother.
You and your-
Right, and then next is supplemental absentee abstract. Again, this was taken directly from the tapes that you all signed last night after the supplemental DS 200 was closed. So again, this is going to be just like the other one. On the back page, place for signatures. And again, this was taken directly from the results tapes last night. Some have their board sign the tapes at Canvas, but we sign as we go. But if you all want to compare tapes to the abstract, we have those close by. We'll gladly get those.
Please rest.
We have seen them already.
You
Yeah,
have.
name.
Yeah.
And then we do 2 sets of eyes again, for a check and double check. And it's a good thing. The front one does.
that affects.
Okay.
Today's,
The next thing I've got to get off.
today's the Ides of March.
That is odd.
Julius Caesar was assassinated today. 1492. Or was that when Columbus sailed the world? Sailed the world blue.
1492 was Columbus sailed the ocean blue.
They made a big,
Yes.
But the Ides of March was a little bit before that, wasn't
yeah.
it? Go back maybe a couple of centuries.
Where the Ides of March? Where?
Oh, yeah, no, it's fine.
Said that too, didn't he? Hamlet. Must be bad.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Next, we have the civilian certificate of oath. And this will just be signed by the board chair and then notarized. Mr. Chairman, it is 3 copies. As well as the certificate of military and overseas as well, 3 copies. Those are just in single pages. And then we have the supplemental certificate of civilian absentee ballots and the supplemental certificate of executed absentee military and overseas ballots. Just for the chairman to sign, and it is three copies.
Picture of 70 radio. These are here too. Thank you. Thank you. You need to know too. Thank you.
Well,
No, I'm behind. All right, and before we continue with the abstract of votes, I do need to get the board signatures on the manual edit form that we did today, like we did last night. So it's just the one. Here it is there. Just reducing that one ballot
Everyone
cast.
needs to sign.
Yes, in the Dobson early voting precinct. I think I wrote on the ballot. Clark, will you double check challenge? Yes.
But during this whole period, we've only had two challenges, the two today. That's it.
Besides the candidate challenge, yeah. We had a candidate challenge right before.
Hate that we had the two, but.
Yeah,
that's-
yeah.
That's pretty good.
And Jimmy, I'm sorry, I also failed to mention behind that sheet are the tally marks. But I think Barbara and Clark, Sydney went over that with you all in
Yes.
She did.
the room. Right. We are down to the good stuff. The next three reports. Just reports the state requires, it's the same report in three different ways. This is a block style canvas report in triplicates. If I can just get the board to sign the back page of all three. This is results by precinct. Again, back page, there are three, and this is results by contest. Back page, there are three.
Says a blank page.
Back page.
Michelle,
I'm sorry.
this has a completely blank page.
Oh, yeah, okay, we'll take that
No,
away.
but-
Yeah, no, yeah, we'll go ahead and take that one out. I'll be working on these two.
Okay.
Sydney, that's the only reason, for the report that I could do, there's nothing really, I'm gonna have to find out how they want me to mark that. Okay.
10 cents for every time. Ain't that? It's the big stuff out there.
Think you'd have to.
That's that was it.
I told Bob this is change my name to William Maple. They just changed it. Start saying.
Easier.
Yeah. They don't have to be in a certain order. These.
No,
Check.
okay. Yes, sir.
Remind me, know what the early vote, the original, all this. Transfer.
Transfer, we didn't have any. That's if we needed to transfer, if we had two precincts we needed to put together, if there was an emergency. We had to transfer DS-200. Luckily, we did not have to use any of those.
Why it didn't ring a bell with me, and I didn't
Yeah,
understand what it
there
was.
should be zeros for there.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
That's what that was for a minute.
To retire. Silver. Alumnus and alumni. I think it happened on the floor of the Senate, from the Senate. That right? Brutus killed Julius Caesar was on the floor of the Senate. You weren't there?
It's bad in history. English. I missed it. In English. English, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, English. But in the English that we were taught. All right, and the long awaited abstract of vote. There are 3 copies. Been waiting for it.
Shelley. That's what this was.
Oh, I know. Yeah, yeah.
I'm proud to sign
I'm proud that you are.
it.
We are proud that you are.
Well, we're proud of the work y'all do to make it possible for us to sign it.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Without reservation.
Trepidation.
Or question. All right.
So there's no objection.
One we're looking for, wasn't it? The last one.
It's in the book.
Promoted D.
Almost had you wrong.
Time to November.
It will be.
May.
Very
Yeah.
short. May.
Maybe will be a hop, skip and a jump.
Pray for two more as smooth as these.
Worthwhile prayer.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I do need you to, fill in the blank on these three right here. Right there.
Get y'all in trouble, but I enjoy working.
You need a signature or just
No
name
trouble
filled
that we
in?
can't.
Well,
Fill in.
I really am, because I feel like
Chairman,
we've just
yeah.
done, we've done.
But you need it to be a signature.
Help.
Um,
Just write it.
no, write it in. Yeah, you don't have to do a signature.
No partisan bid or anything. We help the voters. We done what the voters want.
And what we've been charged to do.
We've done what we obligated ourselves to do when we took our oath.
Absolutely.
And that's what I think is most important.
For the voters of Surrey County.
The voters. All.
Voters.
All.
Yeah, yes.
Mark Barton, Zinendorf,
Do what?
Zweifel.
from Aardvark. No, I can't tell you. I don't know what the last one was. Start with a Z.
Second one is Google that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My dad's business card produce was from apples to zucchini.
Okay. I'll do the same principle.
Yep.
That's good.
Okay, y'all, that's it. It's official. The canvas is over. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
We like, we like this. Mhm. Thank- Okay, y'all, she's been over there working on something. We'll see. Is it confetti flying or is something gonna come out of the ceiling? Oh, yay. Final.
It's official.
Official.
Oh, fish. Pretty word.
Purple.
Thank you, Sydney.
Done deal. So it's been
Did you get
submitted.
it, Tyler? She needs to put it back up. Yeah, in a second.
Yeah, you can see it
Even
good on
Donald
both
wanted to take
sides.
pictures.
So everything's been submitted and we are official.
Once that watermark is off of this, I think he probably wants you all he might want you in the image though.
Oh, you want a picture of all of us?
He's been
I
taking.
think he's already maybe got those.
Yeah. I was picking my nose.
I roll my sleeves. I rolled my sleeves up this morning before I came, because I thought this was gonna be a adjustment.
Okay, that brings us to other business on our agenda. Madam Director. Other business.
I do not have any, Mr. Chairman. I'll keep everyone posted with the conversation I have with superintendent of schools about the two election day sites. But otherwise, we'll just watch your email. We'll be sending out next week the new schedule to reflect the second primary dates. Those kind of things. I'll be hitting you with emails probably next week. So
Right.
we do, on behalf of staff, we want to thank the board for a wonderful experience that this entire period has been. So thank you. Thank you for
It's
making
all
it.
been a pleasure
Thank you.
working together.
Thank you for
Easy to do
making our
business.
jobs easier
Mhm.
as well. So
Yes,
Absolutely.
that's the,
Robin, anything further on your desk?
Do you think we'll have
she's
to
gotten
meet
rid of all the
before
papers, so she's done.
The first
absentee.
absentee meeting?
You don't know
You
that.
don't see anything? with
In
that?
my opinion, doubtful, but I have nothing to base that on. you
And
know.
that'll be next month.
April 9th would be the first.
Really?
We are doing testing on the machines. We have to do that. We have to do everything.
Every elect- just like
Everything.
yeah.
So LNA testing will be done in this room on April the 9th and 10th. By bipartisan teams of poll workers. I'll be emailing the board on all that,
Yeah.
those dates as well.
Any further training scheduled
Um,
between now and?
We don't have to do training. What we may do though is hold a meeting, a short training with the chief judges.
Okay.
Refresher.
A
Yeah,
refresher,
sure.
we're definitely going to focus a little bit on provisional ballots, a little bit more.
Do's and don'ts.
Obviously, do's and don'ts, we're
Sure.
gonna refresh that, but
Yeah.
bearing no law change or no change, but we will need to educate the chief judges about who can and cannot vote on
Right.
election day,
There's,
in order to explain to the voters that do show up.
there's a lot of information for the chief judges. And the poll workers, chief judge primarily.
Yeah.
Is there a potential for the development of a hot sheet for the very top most contentious problems that would be a condensed version of what they can look to?
To look for. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. We've pulled the incident reports from election day, so I'll be going through those to upload to FileZilla for the state, and that will probably give us a lot of those answers more than we already know from the calls and the text. And again, the communication through the Text 'em All app is very useful. We can go back through that. We have noted on election morning, um, when they opened over the night before, which they are allowed to, and when they went back the next morning on election day, they had opened over twice. So it wasn't allowing them to check the first person in. Those kind of things we will look at. And again, that's something to go over with the chief judge.
Right.
So yeah, we do have a running list of those.
And if there is those hot items on that hot sheet, whether you can put the page number that they can continue and further their
Mhm.
research. But that hot sheet will be like, say, condensed. and
Bullets.
easier.
Mhm.
But then if they need further information to develop their answer, they can go from there.
You know, it really will be. You hate to have a second primary, but really it'd be a good opportunity for those folks to touch on some of the things that we've picked up here in this primary for them going into the fall election then.
Mhm.
May make that process go better in the fall.
And I think with photo ID specifically, Clark, we saw in this election, it truly was not that much of an effect on results. I think that was shown last night. We had very
Mhm.
few with photo ID issues. We had some.
Sure.
We did not have that many. So I think we were lucky there. I think it goes to show with the municipal elections in the fall, the statistics showed that if they didn't have a photo ID, the likelihood of that voter coming back and showing a photo ID before canvass is unlikely. And again, we had one to come back and do that, so
Hmm.
it's unlikely that they do follow up on, but we will continue to, we make the calls to the voters as well. In a county like ours, we can do that. Mecklenburg, I'm sure they can't call 2,000 people, whatever it may be, but
To the topic of who can vote that we discussed last night. Any plans to post that information on the website?
absolutely,
Okay.
yes.
Wonderful.
We will be doing a lot of that next week.
Okay.
The county website has been up and down the past few days with a revamping. We got the green light last night that it's good and everything's up. So if you've got an error in the past few days, it's because it was the whole county was being redone. So we should be back up and on go now.
Now, if you're just registered Republican, you didn't have to vote in the first primary, but you can vote in the second primary.
Yes.
But
Mhm.
if you're registered unaffiliated, you have to have voted in the first primary.
You have to have voted Republican
You have-
or not voted at
Or
all,
not
just like
voted.
any other.
Trying to get straight in case somebody asks.
And if a registered Republican did not participate in the first primary, they can participate in
They
the second.
can't. Okay.
Is it permitted possibly for when the person votes a provisional ballot that they are told, now, if this item, whatever is causing this provisional ballot to have to be voted, if they don't bring their photo ID in, that, now here's what I'm wondering, can we tell them your ballot may not be counted?
No, we cannot. We cannot, our poll workers nor can staff ever say, in order for your vote to count, please bring this back by 5 o'clock on March 14th. No, the standard statement has to be, the Board of Elections will decide and determine at supplemental absentee if your ballot counts. We cannot,
So we can't put the onus on them
no, sir,
that they're responsible.
no, sir.
Okay.
And
Such a
we-
shame.
It
We-
just is.
And we don't ever want our poll workers to make any statement in that way because it probably would not be consistent with the
see.
wording of that. And yeah, we cannot, we ask our poll workers never to indicate whether a ballot will count or not. It's just a conversation that's not had.
They should get it away from the person in the field and put it on someone that's away from, it, like the board and the board meetings. It's up to them, so they're not in the line of fire.
Yeah, and
That's
again,
good.
we have to be careful that all voters are treated equally and are, as best to our ability, they're hearing the same things all over the county, election day.
And
Rightfully
and one of
so.
those consistent statements is, it's the law.
Yeah,
It's the law. It's not
Yeah.
me, it's the law.
we said that many times on election day with
I'm
the
sure.
angry phone calls, but we did.
Okay. Sydney, anything further on your laptop?
Yep. We got some, if you hadn't been on Facebook, probably a good thing. Uh, Got some great pictures from election day, all different ones.
I recognize some folks there.
And many of these are early voting and, Matt seen both too, so. But that's at one of the schools, the Westfield Elementary. It's Pilot. Is that? Rockford,
Rockford, yeah.
Joel's,
Oh.
that's the dream team who are gonna have a barbecue together this summer.
I can see that.
They have bonded.
They have Siloam, Northwest Field, there. Eldora.
There's Salem.
There's Salem.
In line.
Oh, that was Mattery one. What's that one? 5.
And these are put on Facebook. That's good to give people. a
That's
little
Mary
bit of airplay.
That's Mattery 6. Mhm.
Great at taking pictures like that.
Brian, and look, Brian was all male.
Yeah.
That's unusual.
Ah.
Yes, unusual. All male.
I was getting to ask what's wrong with that picture.
That's Dobson 3.
Three, I recognize.
And those, 1, 2, 3 were early voting for the whole period. Workers, so. On Elkin, Rockstars Elkin voted 900 on election day.
Wow.
And that chief judge was brand new. Did a great job. First time chief
Good,
judge.
good.
Now we're at check-in.
Who's there?
That was Caden Hill. This is chief judges as they came back in that night. Yeah, we recognize those people.
That my old head.
He's got hair on.
Yeah, IT. and everything. Oh, yeah, and that's emergency management. So they let us borrow the light tower. Came back and picked it up. That was going out the day before election. Well, that's early, but the end of early voting. Yep.
Salem. That's a good picture of her.
Yeah.
It's great to take those precincts, they took pictures like it.
That's because Sydney sent them a
See?
text and asked them to.
Yeah, great,
And they all
Their instructions.
did it. Yeah.
great.
Put it on Facebook where old people like us can see it. Instead of
Speak
Tic
for
Tac.
yourself.
And you gotta remember, Sydney, 90% of the time, she is doing this 10 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night at home. She's not doing the work posts on work time 90% of the time.
Wow.
Thank
We
Thank
are,
you for that.
yes, we are a blessed group we're a blessed group to have everyone on staff. We say Sydney works when no one knows.
Wow.
Yeah, and I just think, how much slower can I get? Don't you, Robin? She makes us feel like we're just.
Is there anything further from any of the board members today before adjournment?
I'm just tickled to death to work with this group. At this table, with this staff, I decided genuinely, and I thank every single one.
Us too, thank
Thank you,
you.
Clark.
You know,
Reminds me when Don Isaacs was on here.
Yeah,
So Don.
well, you know what? I do too, but we have a great relationship now with Byron. And he reaches out. to Andrew, wanted to know with the video last week, the guy who showed up. Once he heard, he called, wanted to know if there's anything he needed to do. So how wonderful.
I'm sure
is
that come from Don, probably Don telling him, these are good people. I mean, that would have been the only thing he'd say.
Well, I think this county is very, very blessed to have Byron with his skill set, mindset, his personality, it just all works so great.
Wonderful
It's a
organization.
wonderful asset.
Yeah, I saw that in the luncheon we
Lunch,
had
yes.
when he began to speak. Everybody from law enforcement, the county, everybody just turned to look to him because he had so much,
Respect.
yeah, absolutely. He had so much valuable information to share.
Yes.
So,
And yet he's down to earth.
yes.
He's just relatable.
Yes.
Him being at that conference at Congo.
Oh,
Yeah,
and that was
right.
his idea. So I mean, he again, that is a great, another piece to the puzzle. That's just bringing it all together.
Well, I think it's a point that has been made by CISA and the election process is considered critical infrastructure. And it really is in every sense of the word. So it ought to be treated as such.
Yes, sir.
Any comments, Barbara?
No, I'm just thrilled that, I've seen it from beginning to end. And I've enjoyed getting to know all of you and the staff as well. And it's been a great experience for me. And I'm grateful, thankful, blessed.
Thank you. We're especially grateful for Barbara. No offense, Jimmy, but she brings food.
And I cannot hold a candle to that. She does, she does.
And I love to cook.
I know.
I'm trying to figure out how to get some leftovers from last night.
If there's nothing further then for our canvas meeting for March the 15th, 2024, I would entertain a motion.
Before that, Dwayne, I do want to say, people do not realize what you do away from the meetings. You, for this challenge hearing, the attorney, I did not prepare any of that. You prepared it all so again, thank you for the job you do and for the seriousness that you put on your position as chairman.
Yes,
Yes.
We're lucky to have.
yes.
And he has shared his
Excellent
secret
job.
because he's got the new law book on his tablet. He can look up everything very quick.
And Drew's gonna go home and do that too.
Day after tomorrow,
That's Sunday. You can't do it on Sunday.
day after that.
Now
Sorry,
I would seek
sorry.
a motion.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that this meeting be adjourned.
Chairman, I'd second that motion.
We have a motion and we have a second to adjourn our canvas meeting March 15th, 2024. Any discussion? We've already had. I would look for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye. We are adjourned. Thank you.